They say that there is no greater love than a mother for her child and a dog for its owner. While the first statement might be up for debate, the second one is undeniably true. Dogs are known to be man's best friend, and they prove it every day by being loyal and devoted to their owners until the very end. Today we will look at some heartbreaking stories of dogs who are incredibly loyal to their owners even in death. You will definitely shed a tear or two after hearing these stories. So grab a box of tissues before starting this video. Bill and his dog Radar were inseparable. They did everything together, from playing fetch in the park to cuddling on the couch watching TV. But tragically, Bill passed away suddenly, leaving his wife, Barbara, and his faithful canine companion behind. Radar refused to eat and spent most of his time by Bill's grave. Barbara knew she had to do something to help her grieving dog, so she took him to the vet. The vet gave Radar a clean bill of health and told her that the only thing wrong with him was a broken heart. Barbara couldn't bear to see her husband's absence causing so much pain to their beloved pet, so she decided to adopt a new puppy to keep Radar company. At first, Radar wasn't too keen on the idea, but eventually he warmed up to the little guy and they became the best of friends. In 2013, an Australian woman named Jessica was looking forward to a relaxing trip to the beach with her partner and their two dogs, a Labrador named Dell and a cattle dog named Blue Heeler. However, things took a turn for the worse when Dell got washed away in a strong rip current. Despite the efforts of Jessica's partner and two other men to save the dog, they were unsuccessful and Dell was declared dead. Jessica was heartbroken, but her grief was only compounded when Blue Heeler refused to leave Dell's side. Jessica and her partner tried everything to get the dog to come back to the house, but nothing worked. Blue Heeler stayed by Dell's body for an entire week, refusing to eat or drink. Eventually, Jessica realized that the only way to bring her dog out of his funk was to euthanize Dell. Even then, Blue Heeler didn't budge. It took Jessica 3 hours of sitting with the dog and coaxing him to come back home. To this day, Blue Heeler still refuses to go to the beach, even though Jessica and her partner have tried everything to make him feel comfortable there again. For many years, Toshio Magari from Japan kept a portrait of his late wife Sumire above the fireplace in his home. But he never hung it higher than eye level because he didn't want their dog, Hoshi, to be able to see it. You see, Hoshi was a 14-year-old Akita who had been blind since birth. And Toshi didn't want the dog to become obsessed with the picture of his deceased owner like he had done with the photo of his previous dog. But Toshi's efforts were in vain because Hoshi still managed to figure out where the picture was and he would spend hours staring at it. One day, Toshi came home to find Hoshi lying next to the portrait with a serene expression on his face. The old man picked up the dog and laid him down on his bed, where he stayed until he died a few days later. A French bulldog named Winston had always been protective of his owner, Dan Richardson. So it came as no surprise that when Dan was diagnosed with cancer and had to undergo chemotherapy, Winston was by his side every step of the way. Winston would lick Dan's face and nuzzle his head whenever the man felt nauseous from the medication. And he would also jump on the bed and bark furiously if Dan tried to get out of it during treatment. Sadly, Dan passed away in 2018, but Winston's loyalty didn't end there. In fact, the dog refused to leave Dan's side even after he was buried. Winston would often be seen lying on top of the freshly dug grave, refusing to move or eat. It took several attempts by Dan's family to convince the dog to come inside. Winston eventually succumbed to exhaustion and passed away a few weeks after his owner. Marvin Heimer moved into an apartment with his wife, Joanne, and their two dogs, Buster and Bella, in 2013. The couple had adopted Buster from a shelter a few years earlier and Bella was just a puppy when they got her. For a while, everything seemed to be going well. But soon Marvin noticed that Buster wasn't as active as he used to be. And when he went to the vet, he was told that the dog had terminal cancer. As Buster's condition worsened, he spent more and more time with his favorite person, Marvin. The old man would carry the dog around the house and talk to him for hours. When Buster finally passed away, Marvin was devastated. But his grief was only compounded when Bella began to show signs of illness. The dog lost weight and stopped eating. Soon she was diagnosed with cancer as well. And although the vet said that surgery could give her another year of life, Marvin opted to let her pass away naturally. In the last moments of her life, Bella refused to leave Marvin's side. And although it was painful for him, he didn't have the heart to push her away. For 2 decades, Jack Russell Terrier Kevin was the devoted companion of 90-year-old Elizabeth Friedel. They did everything together, from taking walks in the park to attending dog shows. But sadly, Elizabeth passed away in 2017, leaving Kevin without a home or a person to care for him. Thankfully, the dog was found by animal charity workers who took him to a shelter. There, staff members noticed that Kevin was extremely anxious and depressed. He refused to eat and could often be heard barking and pacing. His anxiety was so bad that he had to be put on anti-anxiety medication. Fortunately, one of the shelter workers named Rachel took pity on the dog and started spending time with him. She played with Kevin and gave him treats until he finally began to calm down. Eventually, Rachel adopted the dog and gave him a new lease on life. A woman from Britain named Claire Fryer was heartbroken when her cat, Sudi, passed away a few years ago. The cat had been a stray before Claire adopted him, and he had a rough start to life. Despite all the hardships he had faced, Sudi was incredibly loving and affectionate towards Claire. He would greet her at the door every day when she came home from work and would often curl up on her lap while she watched TV. After Sudi died, Claire felt lost. She missed his purring and the sound of his little paws running across the floor. One day, she saw an article about a therapy cat named Fudge who visited a school for children with special needs. The idea of bringing joy to children by introducing them to animals reminded her of how much happiness Sudi had brought into her own life. So she got in touch with the organization, and soon after, Fudge came to live with her. Claire and Fudge quickly formed a bond, and she began taking him to schools, hospitals, and nursing homes. Everywhere they went, people were drawn to Fudge's calm demeanor and gentle nature. He would often be seen napping in children's laps or licking the hands of elderly patients. In addition to bringing joy to others, Fudge has also brought Claire a sense of purpose and fulfillment. She knows that she is honoring her beloved cat's memory by making a difference in the lives of those around her. A woman from Texas named Jennifer Arnold was devastated when her dog of 14 years, Toby, passed away in 2016. The golden retriever had been by her side through thick and thin, and she was lost without him. A few months after Toby died, Jennifer started noticing strange things happening around the house. She would hear him barking and scratching at the door. And sometimes she would even see his shadow. Although she tried to rationalize these experiences away, deep down she knew that Toby was trying to contact her. Jennifer reached out to a local medium named Sonia Starbuck, who agreed to conduct a seance to try and communicate with Toby. During the seance, Sonia instructed Jennifer to get a notepad and start writing down whatever came to mind. At first, Jennifer was skeptical, but soon she began writing sentences that she knew Toby would have said if he were alive. Over time, the messages became more frequent and more specific. Jennifer started receiving phone calls from friends and family members who reported seeing Toby's spirit around town. Some even claimed to have spoken to him and received messages from him. Jennifer believes that Toby is trying to tell her something important, and she is determined to uncover his message. The bond between a dog and its owner is truly unbreakable. Even in death, these loyal companions refuse to part ways with their beloved humans. From the touching story of Blue Heeler to the heartwarming tale of Kevin, these canines have shown us that love knows no bounds. What's your favorite story? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.